But thank you so much. Thank you so much, Cian, for the raid. Obrigado. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great cast. I'm assuming you were casting. Hope you had a great time. But here we go. We have our fresh best of 5. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the red Zerg player. We have the red Zerg, the Finnish Zerg, representing Basilisk. It is Serral. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Zerg player. We have the Italian Zerg representing Basilisk, as well as this is a Basilisk team kill. It is Reynor. Here we go. Now, when it comes to ZvZ between these two players, typically we expect hyper aggression. It is very common for either of the two to cut workers to throw down an early Roach Horn, an early Evo Chamber, an early +1 carapace timing, an early all-in, and an early flood. It is, again, typically a lot of hyper aggression, a lot of scouting, a lot of realizing whether or not your opponent's droning, whether we have fake drones and fake saturation, fake setups as well. It can be quite intense between these two. I mean, in general, just in ZvZ at this level of play. It is quite rare to have like a more stable, a bit of a slower early game into slower mid game into Roach versus Roach battles. That's a rarer sight. Not saying it never happens. I'm sure it might happen like once in this series, but usually the games are more intense than that. But we'll see. We'll see. Another thing, of course, to bear in mind is that in latest patch, Mutaplay is more accessible, Mutaplay is more viable, and we do see a lot of Mutaplay in ZvZ nowadays as well. Due to the reduced build time of the Spire. Scouting is that much more paramount in ZvZ. I mean, it always was, but even now more so. Just because the Spire is a bigger threat. But now, Hatch Gas Pool versus Hatch Gas Pool. Standard opener, standard setups. Everything's looking normal so far. We're calming down. Seeing the usage chat, is this somewhere where you can see the player's APM on this interface? I believe there is a hotkey for that. I don't think I know it because I never do use it. But yeah, it's typically not something that I pan to. Oh, where do we go? I think it's one of these. I'll mess around with it later. Meanwhile, we are taking our third bases. From here, standard Balin has timing as well. Serral throws down his nest, so does Reynor. Everything looking normal. So just calming down and getting in towards our early to mid game. From here, we're keeping an eye on any big Ling Flood. We have 10 Lings on the way for Serral. We have 14 Lings on the way for Reynor. So we are going to start to be assertive and aggressive here. We're going to start to move out. So in the chat, did Reynor used to play Protoss to avoid ZvZ? Yes, yes. That was the case a couple of years ago. Like 2023-ish, right? 2023-ish era StarCraft. He would do that before, but basically Reynor, he started doing that before Clem did. Like Clem's switch to Protoss happened at the end of 2024. Reynor was doing that back in like 2022, 2023. Oh, as Bratok did lag out. Ah, my Bratok. But yes, Reynor, he did used to do that. Clem was not the first. He's the most popular. He's the most successful doing that. True. So he got a lot of notoriety. Meanwhile, Reynor, he's not droning. Reynor, he got drones very, very early. Here at 30, he's going for nothing but Lings. He's moving out with his own Ling main aggression. And we'll see if Serral can keep up. Oh. So far, it does trade. Yeah, it does trade with our 4 Banelings left over. Serral so far is holding. A couple Lings, they do sit by. Banelings, they were leading to the middle line as well. They're trying to. Oh, they do trade 2-2. Still 2 Banelings left. Oh, and the Banelings, they're going to be wasted here. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, miscontrol out of Serral with that Queens getting surrounded. Serral, he's being broken, losing 1, 2, 3 Queens. And Reynor, he has done it. He has broken the natural. He's pushing in. Behind this, we have Roach Production on the way for Serral. But again, one wrong move can cost you the game. Oh, speaking of, Serral, he does come in. Yeah, 2 banelings left over. Barely holding on, and Serral, he's buying time for his roaches. Oh, yeah, massive connection. Serral, he's buying time. Roach doesn't, sorry, baneling doesn't quite make it in. The roaches are out. And Serral, he's holding. He's barely holding on. He's trying to. Oh, God. Yeah, he's trying to hold on at the same time. Lings, they get across the map. Ooh, 9 drones going down. Reynor losing a lot of workers here back at home. Yeah, does lose 11 drones. And Serral holds. Serral, he holds on, he defends. Serral, he did lose every single queen in the defense. It was a messy defense out of Serral, but he survives with 30 drones. Meanwhile, we have 19 workers for Reynor. Reynor, he was completely all-in, now even more so. And he's running out of steam. Reynor, he cannot afford the all-in, not anymore. Reynor, he's broke. Surrounds a roach. Baneling's almost done. Jesus. Yeah, baneling does complete. Does complete here, and Serral, he's just running out of steam. Sorry, Serral? I'm gonna say Reynor. The other one. The other Basilisk player. Aye. Reynor, he's running out of steam. He's got one final fight in him. How many banelings? 8. 8 banelings. Now morphing in the 9th. Reynor, he has to be so careful. Okay. Reynor, he does run away. Oof. Baneling does connect. There are 3 banelings left. 2 defensive banelings for Serral. Down to 2. Oh, sorry, down to 3. Yeah, he's holding. Yeah, he's holding on his zoning way, buying more time for more roaches. Reynor, he baits out 1 baneling. There's 2 left. No, and GG gets called. Yeah, Reynor, he's run out of steam. There's nothing remaining here, and Serral takes game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Serral, he does take a lead in the series. Again, Reynor, he was completely all in. We saw that early. He cut workers at 30 drones. 30 drones, 3 bases, went for a massive link flood across the map. And initially, Reynor was doing well. Remember, Reynor, he baited out some of the banelings. Serral had some miscontrol early on with his own defensive banelings. He got surrounded. He lost all 3 queens, and Reynor was pushing into the natural. I will say that Reynor, he did fall for a bit of a bait, which was going for the mineral line. So he did spend some banelings going for drones, whereas he could have saved them just to make sure he was able to deal with the Ling reinforcements. In the end, Serral did barely buy enough time for his roaches and barely hold on. Not just that, but having the wherewithal, having the free supply to counterattack. Remember, what really won Serral this game wasn't the defense, it was the offense. He got across the map, he crippled the economy, and he knocked Reynor down to 19 drones. He knocked him down to a 1 base economy. Couldn't afford to keep going, couldn't afford the all-in. GG. GG, well played. So again, a crazy counterattack there by Serral. Able to cripple Reynor, and now we're loading into game number 2. Happened twice, where he killed all the workers, killed 11 drones, and he also killed the 3rd base. But here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner. Oh god, he's top pulling. Top left-hand corner here of Ruby Rock, we have our Italian Zerg player going for the 12 pool, representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player, the Finnish Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Serral. Here we go. So we have a 12 pool by Reynor. He could potentially 12 pool drone pool as well. Otherwise, this could be a 12 pool into an expansion into a longer game. We'll keep an eye on Reynor. I also want to give a little bit of context as to what was said earlier, actually. Referring to Reynor used to playing Protoss to avoid ZvZ. If you recall, Reynor, I believe it was in 2023 or 2024. The years, they blend together a little bit, but one of those years, Reynor, he spent a lot of time in Korea. He went to Korea in preparation for EWC, and he did state that he was specifically focusing on his ZvZ, just because, of course, in Korea, you do get better ZvZ practice. In general, you get better practice in general, but he was able to get a lot of ZvZ practice against Rogue, against Dark. This was before Dark retired, of course. Dark, Solar, DRG, like Su as well. This is before Su retired, Topol, Drenpool. But Reynor, he got a lot of practice, and he did improve his ZvZ, and that's when he stopped playing Protoss to avoid ZvZ. but he did spend a lot of time on it. From here, again, 12 pool drone pool, 1 base all in out of Reynor, and Serral, he has yet to scout. Serral, he has yet to scout, yet to confirm. Serral himself goes for a hatch gas pool, standard opener out of Serral. So far, this is lining up for Reynor. Links are spotted. Serral, he knows. So he's now aware of the 12 pool, and now he's aware of the drone pool. So he sees, he knows. It's all going to come down to his main base defense. Spine crawlers are on the way. And Serral, can he hold on? There's 3 spine crawlers in production. Reynor has to be careful not to be surrounded. Has to be careful. Does deny mining. Denying mining. Lings are on the way. So he commits. Oh! Does commit. Does surround one of the drones. Spine crawlers are halfway done. Reynor has to buy a little bit more time. Yeah, he's buying a little bit more time here. Dancing with the army. 1 spine gets surrounded. Once you see Reynor, he does engage. So far losing 2 drones. There's the first cancellation. There's a second cancellation, but 1 spine crawler does finish. Is it enough though? Yeah, plenty of lings pop out, and with that, Serral, he holds. Yeah, he completely cleans up. Very patient play here by Serral. The queen is out. He abandons the main base, mining the natural. And Serral's fine. Yeah, Serral, he's fine here at the natural. Again, the spine crawler can't really threaten the natural just because it has to waddle down onto the low ground. And as time goes on, it's becoming better and better for Serral. But again, just really patient play. I'm used to seeing more defensive spine crawlers instead from the defending player, but like Serral, he's again, he just shut this down. GG gets called. Serral with a dominant performance here with a clean defense. Serral, he will take a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Winding it back here. So I'm used to seeing typically when you scout, and I guess it's when you scout the drone pool earlier, but if you can confirm a 12 pool drone pool, usually what we see is for the defending Zerg player to hide some drones at the natural, let the natural finish some spine crawlers, build some spine crawlers, and then pull down to the safetyness of those spine crawlers and defend your natural instead, and just abandon your main base, which we kind of saw, except Serral, he did so without even getting any spine crawlers up and running. He was just really patient with his drones, with his lings, making his queen at the natural on the main base, and really patient when it comes to dealing with those 2 spine crawlers as well. One did finish, but one wasn't going to achieve anything. GG. So really clean drone drilling there by Serral. Very impressive. That was crazy. Calm down, Serral. Calm down. As that leads us into game number 3. Serral, he's up 2-0, and he's 1 game away from claiming the series. Let's go. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Celestial Enclave, we have the Finnish Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Basilisk, leading the series 2-0. And can he pull off the clean sweep? It is Serral. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the Italian Zerg player, the blue Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. Here we go, and welcome to Celestial Enclave for the first time tonight. For the very first time, Celestial Enclave is one of those maps where you can be hyper greedy. Speaking of, we do have our hatcheries that are going to be on the way, but the reason why we expect hyper greed and we do expect gasless openers here is because of the 3 base setup. First things first, this is a rare site, ramp into the natural. So this is a very defendable natural base. Because of the ramp leading into the natural, it does mean that you can wall up and wall off and pull off a defense without link speed. Without banelings, with an Eva Chamber, Roach Horn, and a Queen, you can wall up on 3 bases because it's a pocket base as well. So again, there it is. It is hatch pool, no gas from Serral. Likewise, Reynor, no gas either. Oh, Reynor going 1 step further. So Serral is going hatch pool, Reynor is going hatch. So hyper greed here is the name of the game on Celestial Enclave. Not just in ZvZ, but in PvP. No, maybe not so much in PvP. Even in PvP. Yeah, PvP in every single matchup. In every single matchup, it's just a game of greed. Cut as many corners as you can and try to get away with it. So Reynor going for the greediest build possible, even just ignoring his pocket base as well. Very greedy, and Serral doesn't know. Serral's being greedy as well, but not as much. So I do give the edge to Reynor early on. Reynor has the edge. Serral pokes in, confirms the hatchery timing, but he hasn't seen much else. Hasn't seen much else here. But because it's all about cutting corners, we're going to be skipping tech as well, getting into the Roach versus Roach phase, or potentially even the Muta phase. It's just a very different dynamic. And this also kind of shows, I mean, we bring this up all the time, but like every map does influence the game. More aggressive maps favor aggression, smaller maps, I should say. These more defensive maps, they favor greed. They allow for very different kind of game states. As Serral still takes no gases, does go hatch pool into a third base, does go for the pocket base as well. So again, Serral, he's being greedy in his own way, but he's still one step behind, especially because he's going for the half base instead of the full base that Reynor has achieved. Serral, he now sees the creep. Yeah, he sees the creep, so now he confirms, you took the fast third. So now Serral's aware. Serral, he's aware he's behind, and the problem is that Serral, he will stay behind. Like, he can't do anything. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Attack with slowlings? Like, again, there's just nothing to be aggressive with. Meanwhile, we have a drone scout from Serral confirming the gases, confirming the tech, or the lack of tech. Serral now sees a second gas geyser on the way, and he confirms the Roach Warren. Now, as I mentioned before, something that is viable here, something that is going to be an option, is Muta play. Going for a fast layer into Mutas. So far, both players are being safe, both players are walling up their naturals. And there are the layers. So layer for Serral, layer for Reynor. Now, something that we have been seeing a little bit more of in this latest patch, because of the accessibility of Spire play and of Muta play, is Muta versus Muta. That is a possibility here. So we could end up in Muta wars. That is a possibility. Plus one range on the way tells us that Serral is not going into Mutas. Same with Reynor. Okay. Technically, we could see a Spire, but if we do see a Spire, in my mind, it would just be for like 5 or 6 Mutas just to harass, not to commit into. So we have more gases being taken. Oh, okay. Overload speed on the way for Serral. Interesting. This might just be for scouting. As I mentioned before, scouting is paramount here for ZvZ. We mentioned that at the start of the series. And this should be to just dive into the bases. Yep, here comes the Overseer lined up with overload speed as well. To confirm gases, droning, and tech. Again, we need to confirm whether or not there's a Spire. We know there isn't one, but Serral doesn't. Serral's moving in. Both players have droned up to around 70. Sully checks behind the mineral line, confirms nothing in the main. Yeah, there's nothing in the main base. Drop Lord on the way as well to harass. Checks nothing at the natural. And checks nothing at the third. But it confirms all the gases, all the droning, all the saturation. Nothing but roach production out of Reynor. We should be seeing nothing but roaches out of Serral as well. Remember, Reynor, he has had the slightly better economy for longer, so that's why Reynor has the larger army supply, is because of the openers. Like we mentioned at the beginning, we kind of glossed over it, but again, Reynor has been ahead for all of this game. So he does have a larger roach army. Now, going for drop lords like this is a way to recover, it's a way to harass, it's a way for Serral to make up for his deficit. And we'll see if he can. Reynor's pushing. Yeah, he's setting up the creep highway. Reynor moves out. As he moves out, we have the roach drop into the main. Does Reynor get distracted? Otherwise, Reynor, who could just push through the main army. Yeah, reinforcements getting caught. Reynor moving in. Wow, they do graze the roaches. Again, Reynor trying to force his way up the ramp as well. And he does have more roaches, but defender's advantage for Serral. But sorry, please, that's 2 Ravagers as well. Yeah, Ravagers are going down. We do see the low ground here in control of Reynor. Pushing into the mineral line, and Reynor, he may just have too much here. Yeah, he has too much. breaks the main army, breaks through the queens, and we have a series. We have a series. We have it back and forth. It's not going to be one-sided. It's not going to be a 3-0. And so he'll lose every queen. He'll lose every ravager. I say that Reynor, he does back off. I do feel like he could have peeled off like even 3 roaches, like 2 to 3 roaches to get into the mineral line. Could have achieved so much more damage. I mean, regardless, Reynor's almost maxed. Oh no, the Jumper Lord. Oh, full Jumper Lord goes down. And Reynor now can focus on the main bush, and you can see he's up 40 supply. And again, that upgrade lead, sorry, that supply lead, that all just comes down from the opener. That all just comes down to the opener. And we actually brought up this talking points in the previous matchup, in the PvP, in the mirror matchup. We spoke about how when you fall behind, when you stay behind in mirror matchups, like it affects you that much more, like it's that much more brutal. You can see it here as well in ZvZ. I mean, in every mirror matchup. Less so in TVT, true. But Reynor sort of steps in, overwhelms the roaches, GG gets called, and Reynor puts a point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played again. Reynor with a greedier build, with a greater economy, with a faster base, with better saturation, leads into a larger army. And he just overwhelmed. He just A-moved across the map. Serral, he just could not keep up with the boosted economy that Reynor had. Remember, Serral, he could not punish it either. He tried to with drop lords, but by then it was too little. It was too little, too late. He was unable to deal enough damage. And with that, that leads us into game number 4. Let's go. We have a back and forth. And can Reynor bring us all the way to the ace match? Pressure's on. The pressure is still on. But Reynor does have momentum. Now, very quickly, I should also emphasize that that game of greed that we saw in Celestial is unique to Celestial Enclave, or it's unique to those types of maps. But there's only one in this map pool. It's only Celestial. You know, there's no like Radisson Station, for example, or any other, or Crimson Court, for example. Like, there's no other map like that here in the map pool. So we should be calming down as we load into one of the smallest maps in the map. Well, here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the finished Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Basilisk, leading the series 2-1, and still one game away from claiming the series. It is a Serral. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Italian Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. Let's go. Let us go. As we are calming down, as we are going to be settling in. So far, standard openers. We should be seeing hatch gas pools, but welcome to Tourmaline. Tourmaline has a very short rush distance by ground, has a very accessible natural 3rd and 4th base, so this should lead into aggression. I would imagine like roach aggression, early timing attacks. We haven't actually seen any early Evo chamber play, which is very trendy in ZvZ, so I'm expecting maybe even that here, like an early roach warren or an early Evo chamber. So eyes are on our players. So far, everything's looking normal. So far. Here we go. And here we go. So far, hatch gas pool. From here, we should be seeing just standard Balian S timings. I don't imagine any of our players here is going to be skipping their Balian S, especially on Tourmaline. That'd be insane. So we should be expecting Balian S play into, of course, the 3rd base, and then into Ling Bane aggression. Is what we're expecting. So far, so good. If we see anyone skip their Balian S, we'll point that out. So likewise, our eyes are open for early Evo chambers as well, and early roach warrens, which we haven't seen yet in this series. Third base for Serral, 3rd base for Reynor. Serral, he will scout, he will confirm. So he can rule out 2 base roach. Serral does pull away. Oh. Pulls back, pulls away. Players, they're building up and banking their gases. We have Serral going for his own Ling Flood. Here comes the Bailey Nest. Meanwhile, where's Reynor's? Reynor, he has over 100 gas. Is he skipping the nest and going straight into roaches? Yeah, he is. Okay. Bold move. So it's going to be Ling Bane out of Serral. It's going to be pure Ling out of Reynor. Reynor, he is skipping his Bailey Nest. That's why he was banking up so much gas, and he's going straight Ling Roach. It's risky. It's risky to play Ling Bane without Bane. It's a... Ay. As the armies do clash, Serral, he did have the higher Ling count earlier. So Spy. Ooh, what did he see? Did see the Roach Warren. Okay, Serral's aware. So he's aware we have 14 more Lings on the way. And we need a handful of Banelings. It does need those Banelings. Roach Warren is now done. Serral does zone. But so far, Reynor, he's forcing the fights to be out on Serral's side of the map. He's getting away with his roaches. He's getting away with his greed. So this is a better turnout here for Reynor. He's in a better position. And Serral, yeah, he's going to be forced back. He's got his own Roach Warren on the way. He needs more time. Does need more time. This should be leading into an all-in, by the way. So Reynor, he cut workers early. We have 32 drones for Reynor. We have 36 drones for Serral. Serral, he also just took extra gases as well. So Serral, he has been droning. He's focusing on his economy. Meanwhile, Reynor is all in. Now, the reason why Reynor is getting a Bailey Nest, it's hidden behind the main. He's hiding the fact that he's all in. He does need a couple of Bailey's to make sure that he doesn't get surrounded. So they're going to be defending and protecting the roaches. And here comes Reynor. He's all in. Reynor, he has a supply lead. He's ahead. Reynor, he has 9 roaches to the current 0 of Serral. Serral, he needs more time for roaches. He has to bring his queens together as well. It's going to be a tough hold for Serral. And the all-in has arrived. Yeah, the all-in has arrived. Bailings, they try to zone away. Meanwhile, Reynor, he has zone defensive Bailings. They move in. Doesn't want to waste them. And he wants to keep them close to the chest. Keep them with the roaches. Yeah, it does break through into the natural. Massive alien connection. Not bad. Yeah, it breaks through the Lings, but does he have enough here to break through the queens? It does waste them. Yeah, it does throw away those Banelings. And Serral, he's holding. Oh, he's holding on. Reynor, he starts to drone up back at home. He admits defeat. Yeah, he admits he cannot kill. He cannot kill. And now Reynor, he's being outscaled. He had to end the game then and there. Ay. Reynor's backing up. Now, what's important here is that Reynor, he does take extra gases. He does drone up a little bit, but as you can see here, Reynor, he's not droning up any further. So he droned up to 34, so up to 34 workers. Made an extra 4 drones. Never mind, he's still droning. Oof. Yeah, he's still droning up. Ay. So Serral takes the lead. He's ahead. Stronger economy, building up his own roaches. And this is looking bleak here for Reynor. As again, Reynor, he was hoping he could maybe hit Serral just before the roach production, but the roaches, they arrived just in time. It was close, but they arrived just in time. And with that, both players are droning, they're saturating. Again, Serral's had a better economy for longer. No Eva chambers yet, and no lair either. I'm waiting to see any tech, to see if we ever commit. So far, no one flinches. No one is teching. Serral setting up his Baneling run by. His Waddle by. Both players just fixated on purely army production. And this can still go either way when it comes to the army clash. It can still come down to Baneling connections. As we're both hashtag all in. And here we go. Yeah, Reynor, he commits. As he moves out, Banelings move in. Is Reynor paying attention? Jesus, that's a lot of links here for Reynor. Banelings able into the mineral line. Reynor, he does react. He pulls away, only losing 2 drones. Good defense. And Serral, he has 3 defensive banelings. Doesn't want to waste them. Yeah, Lings are coming from the right hand side. Banelings for Serral out of position. They're heading over. Nice connections. Yeah, they do connect. They shut down the Lings. Serral, he zones back the roaches. And Serral holds. Yeah, Serral, he's just going to completely shut this down here. Again, Reynor's initial all-in failed, and he just did not have enough. He couldn't keep going. And he will lose everything. He'll lose the entirety of the army here. The roaches, the Lings. He does kill 5 drones, which is nice. Oh, files connect. Jesus. Yeah, files do connect. So he's technically down in drones, but again, so he's ahead when it comes to army. He has a massive supply lead. Behind this, going for +1 range. We can see Reynor going for a desperation counterattack. It's going to be deflected. Oof. Catching a queen. Files on everything. Yeah, the army, the overlords. Oh. We get some nice defensive biles here out of Reynor. Oh god, but overlords are getting caught out. So he deals with Ling run by. Here come the Ling reinforcements. And so he has arrived. He's going to clean house, clean up everything here. Massive files connect. GG gets called. Well played. And Serral, he will claim the series 3-1. Advancing on to the upper bracket semis. GG. Whew. GG, well played, Serral. He shuts down the all-in twice, actually, this game. Initially, I thought that Reynor could maybe pull it off. He went for the early roach timing. Remember, he skipped his banelings. He got away with it. He was able to move out across the map. But Serral's roaches, they popped out just in time. It was a very close, a very clutch defense there by Serral. And then he took a lead. From there, Reynor went for a secondary all-in. And if Serral was getting a lair, if he was getting upgrades, if Serral was droning up, then he would die. But Serral, he stayed on a low drone count, just like Reynor. He stayed on hatch tech, just like Reynor, and that means that he just maintained his lead. He just maintained his lead, built up a larger army as a result. GG. We saw that Reynor, he had potential with the Ling flank, but Serral, he was able to rotate with his banelings. Did lose some drones, but he could afford to. He could afford to lose his workers. So with that, GG, well played. Serral does claim the series, and we have our top 4. We have our top 4 here at HomeStory Cup. Un momento, babbies. We do switch our scenes over and catch up on the bracket itself. Bam! We have the bracket, and we have Big Gabe. Big Gabe here in Marine. He took down Zown 3-2, went all the way to the ace match. That was a really long series. I do apologize, by the way, if I was a little bit low energy for the first series. I just woken up, and again, we had a lot of downtime in those games. We had a lot of late game, I should say, so I was a little bit out of it, so I do apologize. But I was able to pick back up for the other 3. For Showtime versus SOS, which Showtime did take 3-0, we had Clem taking down Lambo 3-0, and Serral taking down Reynor 3-1 as well. GG. GG, well played. We have a top 4. As a reminder, it is double elimination, but only for the top 4. So Zown, SOS, Lambo, and Reynor are out of the tournament. They are out. And in the end, we have a top 4. We have a Gabe, Clem, Showtime, and Serral. We have our top 4 players, and we are going to be continuing this group, or the playoffs are going to be continuing HomeStory Cup 28 tomorrow. These are pure best of 5s, by the way. Jesus. These are all best of 5s. We just wrapped up our first 4. Tomorrow we should be live with Gabe versus Showtime, with Clem versus Serral, and with the lower bracket semis as well. So we're going to have 3 best of 5s tomorrow, and then the day after that we're going to have the upper bracket finals, lower bracket finals, and then grand finals thereafter. We'll get there. We will get there. But otherwise, GG, well played. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. When it comes to the highlights for me, Clem versus Lambo game 1. Clem versus Lambo game 1 was very clutch and very intense. Showtime versus SOS was a very clinical series, very, very clinical. So if you're interested in that kind of PvP, you can check that out there as well. When it comes to builds, when it comes to openers, and when it comes to mind games as well, that was all around in that PvP. With Serral versus Reynor, we had something similar as well, but a lot more aggressive, a lot more active, with Reynor going for the 12 pool drone pool and a crazy clean defense out of Serral, and Reynor also going for the Link Flood in game 1 and getting ahead and taking a lead there. So we did have a bit of a back, or trying to at least. So we did have a bit of a back and forth. A game of greed on Celestial, true, did have a game of greed. But GG, well played. And with that, we're going to be wrapping up. Going to be wrapping up for the time being. When it comes to the rest of our schedule, bam, you can see our schedule here before you. We are on Saturday morning broadcast. We just wrapped up with HomeStory Cup. You can see that tomorrow morning we have our next broadcast of HomeStory Cup. So again, it's been Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 4 days, 5 days, even 5 days straight of HomeStory Cup. Later on this evening at 7 p.m. KST, that is going to be 9 p.m. AEST. That will be in 6.5 hours. 6.5 hours. We're going to be live once again with Master Swan Open. That is our monthly amateur tournament for Masters players. We also have Sparkling Tuna Cup tomorrow at that same time. That is our weekly open tournament. So if you want to compete yourself in a more Masters amateur scenario, or if you want to tune in to the open StarCraft and even play yourself as well, we will have that over the weekend in 6.5 hours. 6.5 hours. And tomorrow as well. So plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft. Again, a very busy week catching up with HomeStory Cup. Next week we're going to be catching up with Lily Cup is going to be next week as well, so a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft. There's been a lot going on. Again, the reason why we have all this catching up to do is because January was very lean for us. We were unavailable. Unfortunately, we were just unavailable. There were some things happening IRL, so we could not cast as much during January, so we've been catching up in February, and we almost have. We're almost there. We've been catching up with HomeStory Cup, with Thunderfire, Rongi Cup, Pegasaur Cups, What TV Mondays, what else? With Lily Cup as well. Like, there's just a lot of tournaments we've been catching up on. StarCraft Evolution League, we have to catch up on that. We have to catch up on Code for Giants Cup as well. There's so yeah, there's a lot to catch up on, which and we will eventually, by the time we get into March, we'll get there. What a defense by the boys. Crazy defense, might be crazy. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Stick around as we're going to be giving another StarCraft stream a raid. Before that happens, if you want to support us, you can do so via Patreon. !Patreon in the chat. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments. So Masters on Open, which is tonight, Sparkling Tuna Cup, which is tomorrow. These events are funded via Patreon. So if you want to help us grow those tournaments and support the players even further, you can do so via Patreon. You can do so. Otherwise, you can follow us on all the socials. !Socials in the chat. We have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Blue Sky, Mastodon, Discord, all things CranKy Ducklings. I do recommend checking out our YouTube channel, as we do upload on YouTube on a daily basis. We cast all the time, so I'm sure there are things here that might interest you that you didn't get to watch live. You know, HomeStory Cup, the Pondcast, Tuna Cups, Thunderfire as well. We had the Legacy Legend Show matches with MMA and Innovation, DRG, Oliveira as well. We had some amazing content, amazing StarCraft. It's all there on YouTube if you missed it. Otherwise, thanks for watching. And we'll see you guys in 6.5 hours. I'm gonna go get some breakfast and have a nap and, and try to rest up and get ready for tonight. I won't be casting tonight, bear that in mind. I will not be casting, but I will be adminning. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Stick around. Who's live at the moment? Who is live? Let's see. We'll find someone to send everyone over to. Give them some love, give them some support. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. Ciao, bye, ciao. See you next time. Hasta luego.